Hey, what's going on, everyone? Atropa, thank you for the raid. Very much appreciated. I hope you enjoy this gardening
Thank
stream.
you.
What's going on, guys? Very much appreciated for the raid.
Fug.
We're doing a gardening thing.
DDD.
XDDDD. But yeah, so today
The
we're gonna.
coven is upon you.
Oh no, please no covens. As long as you're a good coven, you can stay. Y'all can stay. I assume this coven appreciates nature and all of its beauty and stuff like that. But let me see. Is this okay? So I guess we'll go ahead and get into this. Um,
Of course.
so the pictures you're gonna see are from last year. These are red hot chili peppers that I grew last year. Um, I'm gonna ease into what I've been doing for like the week. This is just showing what I did last year and what I plan on doing differently this year. Uh, I really liked this, although I don't know what tray this was. I'm pretty sure it's just from a cookie tray or a cupcake tray or something like that. So I gotta go out and buy a cupcake thing. Not really. I don't want to do that. Um, but this was just a really good way as a seed starter. With seeds you want to be like you you don't have to be too gentle with them, but you want to be gentle enough that you don't kill them outright. As you can see, what is it? Yeah. So I grew 10 in this one, and all 10 of them grew. You can't see you can probably see it right here. I don't know. Is it catching my mouse? Yeah, it's catching my mouse. So you got this little one right here that's just a little bit slow to grow. But
I've tried growing plants from the same family as chili peppers.
uh, any luck? Because I seem to have a really good rate with growing peppers out here. So it's been really good. So they've been really good to me for like the last 2 years. But these were red hot chili peppers. As I was saying, with like seeds, you either want to start with a seed starter soil,
They're
or
very cute. No
thank you.
deadly nightshade is a bitch to get to germinate.
Okay. I don't think I've messed with that variant before or that type before. But yeah. So you want to start with something like that's soft. You don't want a lot of if you can see it, like debris, wood chips or anything like that in there. This was kind of just me experimenting with the soil, and it seemed to grow pretty good. But the reason why you don't want a lot of this, and you know what, I'll skip to a picture that I have earlier. Give me a second, or a much more recent picture. Here we go. It'll be one of these. Let me see. I was gonna pick a good one, a decent one. Here we go. This one might be it. Yeah, this is it. So this is the soil that I'm using this year. Actually I can get into it because I'm using the same soil that I used this year as I am last year. So I use this kind, Stagro potted mix, and this is a really good. Well, yeah, this is a pretty good one. It's just a very standard base um, soil. It's got a really good balance of nutrients in it. So if you find that your plants are lacking something, then you can just you can fill in with what you need. Um, these right here are like the chemical makeups, or not chemical, but fertilizer makeup. It's nitrogen, potassium, I think calcium. I got to look it back up again what the numbers mean, but I also compensate with this stuff, cow manure, and this is also a really good balance as well. So basically, anything will grow in it, and all you have to do is just like pay attention to the leaves. If your leaves start to get a little yellow, like yeah, like yellowish with like green spots, it may mean that it's a calcium deficiency. So you'll want to, you know, you want to supplement with either some calcium fertilizer, or you can do like I did and ground up eggshells, and then you can grind them up into a powder. This wasn't the final process. Actually, I don't have a picture of the final powder substance, but you can substitute with this, and this will be like a slow release. It'll take some time to dissolve into the soil, but it's a really good um, it's a really good fertilizer. I've seen people mix it in water and just like let it dissolve in water or break down in water and then just use the calcium water as fertilizer. Um, but I just like doing this and mixing it into the soil. Um, I also do use a liquid calcium fertilizer as well. I don't have a picture of it, but it's really good. It's really helped out my lemon tree uh, through the years. So that's back to what I was saying about the debris. As you can see here, there's a lot of debris going on, and it can really interfere with your root growth. So a lot of the times, if you are using something like this that's got a lot of wood chips in it, you can just pick them out. Pick them out and like make the soil as like soft as you can, so that way the roots have room to grow, and it the wood chips just won't interfere with the growth of the plant. Um, once like once they get out of this the seed pods, then they're usually better to grow into wood chips because the wood chips will eventually break down as compost and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's getting started on the seeds. Again, these are also red hot chili peppers. They were going really good. This one I just decided to like fill a pot and just like let's see how many will grow, and a lot actually grew. This one was a jalapeno plant that we bought at the store, but during a storm it got knocked over and the top broke off, but it started growing back. These are um, what is it? Spinach? Spinach? Yeah, this is
Mr.
spinach.
Proud Step Warrior, what is this?
This. What do you mean? This is gardening. I'm going through what I did last year, and then I'm going to go into what I'm doing this year. And then we got this is a habanero plant, but I had overwinterized it. So what you do with overwinterizing?
Gondola greater than Finnish greater than Mongolian.
Jeez. But with this one, uh, so with peppers, most peppers will last maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years. With this one, what I decided to do was just cut off all the limbs, so that way it would be overwinterized. I believe that's the term, but it's just so that way the plant will go into hibernation and then it'll come back again, next spring. So that's what it's doing now. You can kind of see it, see like baby branches starting to grow in and stuff like that. The same thing was basically happening with this one. After the top part got broken off in the storm, it basically went into hibernation and started saving up energy so that we would grow this one. Unfortunately, this one didn't make it. This one was the same thing. I had cut off all the branches, and then this is a serrano plant. I had done the same thing, cut off all the branches, and then now it was starting to regrow. But this was last year. These plants, this habanero and this serrano is no longer with me now. The Here we go. So this was early into the year. Let's see. This was 21. This was February 23rd. Uh, so as you can see, I started early. I want to say I started in January. So by February, I was already starting to get all of this. These are strawberries. Again, the habanero. I grew a lot of basil, sage, cilantro, dill. The mint didn't grow, unfortunately. I don't know what that was or why, but it kind of sucked. The rosemary was pretty good. The watermelon and the pumpkin, you, watermelon and pumpkin, you really want to actually start out sowing in the ground and not in pots. I've seen people do them in pots, but it's something you really have to look after. I didn't mark these, but by the looks of it, these are peppers. Actually, I want to say these are Big Jim chili peppers, and they're not red hots. I can't remember what these are off the top of my head, but these are definitely tomatoes. You can tell tomato plants very easily by their white stems and the fuzz that they have on them. They're what I do like about tomato plants though is because they do have like these little hairs, what they are just like starter roots. So you can bury a tomato plant as deep as you want, and you won't have to worry about the root rot or stem rot or anything like that. It's something you can't do with these though, because they don't have that type of root system. It's just as soon as the seed starts growing from the soil, that's where the stem is, and you don't want to get the you don't want to get the stem too deep in the ground, otherwise it will cause it to rot. Um, and then these were, just more seed pods that I had that I was growing. All of them grew and stuff like that. The cherry tomatoes especially grew. Cherry tomatoes are wild. Let's see. So here we go. Got more. Um, what was this? I want to say this was a bean. Yeah, this was a bean plant. I don't remember what kind, but this was a bean. Chicago pickling cucumbers, more. It's that same picture that I showed you on the last one. These are definitely more peppers. I just don't remember what they are off the top of my head. No, these are the Big Jim chilies. Yeah, all four of these right here were Big Jim chilies. Uh, bush beans or green beans and string beans, or yeah, green beans right here. And then it's more or less the same. Just, more cherries. Actually, you can kind of see the root system a little bit better here, or the fuzz a little bit. It may just be pixelation from the photos. And then here we go. This was when they started to finally grow. So the cherry tomatoes right here were in these first three pods, and then you had more Chicago picklings in the back. Uh, yeah, uh, five of these grew, but I don't think this last one ever grew. I think the seed just kind of rotted in the soil, unfortunately. But yeah, these grew pretty well. The green bean or the peas unfortunately didn't survive. I didn't have enough soil depth for them, and I didn't have anything for them to climb. I thought I could just let them grow kind of wild, and they would be good, but it turns out that they weren't. Very unfortunate. Um, what are these? Oh, these are kind of like yellow beans. They didn't really make it either, unfortunately. Again, I just didn't have the space for them. Same thing with the beefsteak tomatoes. I just didn't have the space for them either, so they also kind of died off. Um, but yeah, this is March 4th. So as you can see, everything's starting to look a lot better. Here we go, the basil. The basil smells amazing. Like fresh basil is, oh, it's so good. Cilantro's starting to grow in back there. Bush beans are starting to grow. Dill tastes amazing. Like I was like, oh, what's dill taste like? And I was like, yo, this tastes like a pickle. And I was like, wait a second, dill pickles, duh, friggin' dummy. But yeah, that was a funny revelation on my part. There is a point though where the photos just I stopped taking pictures and stuff like that. The sage grew in really well. I didn't really get to use it all that much though. Here we go. Yeah, so this is kind of like, a week later and everything's starting to grow. The reason why you see them going that way is because the window is on the other side. So the plants are trying to reach the sun. So that's when I started moving them outside. So since these were like being grown inside, you have to harden off your seeds, your seedlings. So that means day by day, you want to take them out for, an hour one day, then 2 hours the next day, then 3 hours the next day, just all the way up until they're ready to be outside. If you leave them outside, there's a good chance that they can just die. They can either burn up in the sun or because they're not, as the term implies, hardening. They can't withstand the elements. They're house plants essentially at this point. So you have to take them outside to build up their resiliency. Um, this is also March 11th, so this is a few days. Yeah, this is a few days later. That last one was the 4th. So as you can see, the sage is growing in now. The basil's getting a little bit bigger. So these leaves right here are actually starter leaves. This is what gives the plant its jump start. And then you can see these little bulbs in the inside that are going to grow into the main leaves that you would eat. The starter leaves will eventually fall off. So if you ever see any, like, starter leaves or its first leaves falling off, don't panic. Like that's supposed to happen. Like right here, these are starter leaves for a pumpkin. So these would eventually wilt off, and you know, they would just return to the soil basically, or I would let them return to the soil. Actually, here, this is kind of what I was talking about a calcium deficiency. So you can kind of see like how everything else here is green, but this one is starting to get shades of yellow. It could either be two things. It could be either be disease or it could be calcium. For this one, I knew it was a calcium deficiency because I had like six plants growing in this very small pot. So uh, this is where I started to split them up. Once I did, this one started to grow a lot better. Let's see. Yeah, that's my spinach one. I don't know what happened with the spinach one. It got knocked down, and then, as you can see, the soil's kind of displaced. It got knocked over in the wind, and it just never recovered. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, cherry tomatoes. I like the cherry. I like the way cherry tomatoes grow. They look really cool. Kind of look like palm
Vegetal.
trees. Vegetal. Hey, Fearless Mailbox, what's going on, dude? Ain't seen you in a while. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So here we go. We got the big Jim chilies. I didn't get to harvest these, unfortunately. My it was a combination of like rot or like early blue or what is it? It's early blossom rot, which is also a calcium deficiency thing. If your vegetables aren't getting enough calcium, they will eventually just start to rot. I may have a picture of one of them in here. But yeah, it was like early blossom rot or early blossom rot, something like that. I gotta look it up again. Is what was causing this one to just like die and not produce anything. More tomatoes, more pumpkins, cherry, little bug, little roly poly dude. Uh, I want to say this is also pumpkin. This is either pumpkin or watermelon. Okay, so if you remember all those Red Hot
Little
Chili
bug dude.
Oh, dude, thanks for the subscription, dude. That means a lot. Thank you, dude. Um, I know you got it. I was gonna say, you know, make sure you have enough for you, but I know what you're doing. You if it's anything like my,
Hydrate.
I gotcha. If it's anything like how I was and just living in a tent out in the desert, you're banking out there. But so if you remember the chili peppers, actually I'll just bring them up. So yeah, so these were these right here as well as these. I decided to mix them all together in this big. Uh,
Y'all got a tent. Someone's unit got money lol.
hey man, that's the Air Force. Oh wait, yeah. Oh man, if you ain't got a tent, dude, I don't know, man. That's fucked. Enlisted got tents, and then NCOs got like little, not even barracks. They got like their own private rooms, and I was so mad about that. But if I ever get around to it, probably if there's time after the stream, I'll show some
Lol, we
deployment
got an
photos.
actual building out here.
Oh, you got a building? That's bullshit, dude. But so I decided to use a different fertilizer or not fertilizer, soil for this one, and I really regret doing that. Because this soil was far too, I don't want to say acidic, but maybe hot. I don't know. But whatever it was, it really burnt up my plants. Like you could actually see them day by day starting to burn up, and like none of these peppers made it. Like I want to say like it was this one, like two maybe made it. I don't have any photos unfortunately. Because like they stayed like this where they were just kind of limp for a while, and then after a while they just legit started to burn up. Like their roots were burning, and they just didn't make it unfortunately. And here we go. This is the 18th, so this is basically a week later. And as you can see, the basil's actually got its main leaves in. The tomatoes here started to need assistance, so I just used some bamboo. Uh, I do not
Plants
recommend.
are delicate little bastards.
They really are. I don't recommend using wood, especially bamboo skewers, because that's what I used for these was like bamboo skewers to keep it tied together. And the bamboo started to rot. Mold started to grow on it, so I had to get rid of them before it spread to the soil. I want yeah, this is cilantro. Yeah, this is cilantro. You can see the seeds right there, stuck on the leaves. Those are the starter leaves. Normally, if you get like seeds like that are just stuck on the leaves, or seeds that are stuck on the leaves, most of the time you can just pull them off. But if you try to pull one off and there's like some resistance, just go ahead and leave it there. That means like it's probably still not developed. Uh, there's the beans right there. Actually, they started to do a lot better at that time. I want to say these are just normal tomatoes. These aren't cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes are very distinct because they grow a lot taller, very fast. You can see the sage growing in pretty nicely. Not all of the sage grew in, but enough did. Yeah, that was watermelon, and that last one, sugar baby watermelon. And then there we go, the habanero starting to kick in again. Really good. The dill in the back. I probably should have moved that out of the way so it actually gets some sun instead of being overshadowed by the habanero, but it's fine. What do we got? Yeah, it's just more peppers back there. I also didn't label a lot of these, but you can kind of tell what they are just based off the leaves. Like this is a strawberry, this is a pepper, tomatoes. Just you can tell by the stems. Beans because it's that. More peppers. I mean, it says pepper right there. This is a keystone pepper, which is basically a bell pepper. What is this? This is another. No, this is the pumpkin. This is the pumpkin one. That's another bean in the background. Hey, what's Thanks for the follow, Tiger. What is it, Tiger? Tiger? Yeah, Tiger 16. Thank you. It means a lot. Let's see. Yeah, that's just the same photo. It's kind of the same photo, but I'm looking at the spinach again, and then you got the seedlings here that are. So this is a bean right here. It's not supposed to get like this. What you call this right here is called leggy. Leggy, Leggy. I gotta drink some water. My mouth's getting all dry. But um, so what happens with this is that it
That's a
was
big bean. Damn.
it's not supposed to be like this. The reason why it got like this was because it stayed inside for too long. And if they stay inside and they don't get enough sunlight, you can also tell because the leaf to stem ratio is like very big. Like you get little leaves on this big stem. But the reason why they get leggy is because they're looking for sunlight, so they'll put more energy into the stem and grow taller, so that way they can reach the sun. So that's kind of a desperation, and it was starting to happen with these back here too. With these peppers, no, these tomatoes. It was starting to happen with these where they were getting really leggy and they were starting to look for sunlight. So that's when I had to start bringing them outside more often, and that's also when you want to go ahead and move them to a bigger pot. Let's see. Yeah, here's a better one. So you can see it's getting like this one especially was getting really big. It's nothing you need to worry about. It'll still grow properly. You'll just need to put some more support on it. But everything else here grew really well. Uh, what is? Oh yeah. What is that? I don't know what that is. That's some type of pepper. I don't remember that one, honestly. That may have been. That may have been. Oh, I think that was the
I'm thinking
habanero.
about them beans.
I love them beans. I think this was another jalapeno that didn't make it. I have a very bad track record with jalapenos for some reason. Yeah, so I started moving the beans into like this bigger one right here, and this one grew really well. I was basically picking beans like every day, like just a pod. Um, I have heard that you can eat these bush beans raw. But I heard like eating too many of them can kind of make you sick. So I only ate like half of one. And then I looked it up and I was like, yeah, if you eat too many, you can get sick from it. But I was like, I mean, this raw bean tasted okay. Um, but yeah, and then the spinach plants right there, I was trying to get them to seed. If you if you don't pick the leaves, after a while they'll eventually go to seed. But they never did, so I never got to harvest the seeds from them. Let's see. Oh, here we go. My serrano. I love the serrano plant. This thing put out so many peppers a day. Like honestly, like just one serrano plant was enough to like just keep keep the family going on serranos. Like there was never a time where we were out of serrano peppers, but it was really cool. And this is an orange tree. It's actually in this bigger pot. It's actually in a bigger pot right now on the
How do they
porch.
taste?
Like raw green beans, they kind of taste leafy, like green. It tastes like you're chewing on a leaf, if that makes any sense. It's not a bad taste, but it is kind of a weird, unique taste. Like I said, if you do eat too many of them raw, you can get sick. That's a little bumblebee. That's a big bee too. That's the orange tree. Still waiting. Like the orange tree will put out flowers, but it's not big enough to actually grow any yet, unfortunately. This is my dill. The oh man, dill is so good. Come on. Cilantro, basil. Yeah, that's the basil. Basil's still growing in nicely. Pretty much at this point, you can actually just start picking, stuff off of it. That's kind of what I was doing, especially for the cilantro when I was making hot sauces. Here we go. Here's one of the tomato plants. This is a few months later, actually. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's basically like a whole month later for tomatoes. I don't remember which these are, but they're basically the first tomatoes that I got. Um, the first tomatoes that I got, but I never remembered the name of them. Yeah, so as you can see, pests were starting to eat up the leaves here. This is basically yeah, this is the keystone pepper. These didn't make it because, again, they just didn't have the space for the root system. So they were very small, but they were really good. Um, More here. Yeah, yeah. So this was like the last survivor from that little pepper patch that I showed you earlier, where the soil was just really acidic. Um, I pulled it out and I put it into one that I was using for like this soil, like for every other soil that I was using, and and it actually recovered. It was a really good plant for a short while. Let's see. Oh yeah, more cilantro. I think this is where I split up the cilantro because there was too much growing in one pot. So I just took it out and split it up. These are also more. I think these are keystone peppers. Yeah, it looks like they're keystone peppers too. That white stuff, that's just excess fertilizer. It's not mold or anything like that. It was just I wasn't giving it a lot of fertilizer, but it's a. This is residue from a. Let me look it up again. Let's see. Because I ordered this stuff off Amazon. I went to a store that sold this type, but it was way too expensive. Let's see, order. So I guess since I've been talking about yeah, since I've been talking about fertilizer, I can go ahead and let me open these up in a private window so I don't dox myself. Let's see. Actually, let me open this up in a different internet browser because I got too many tabs open on this one. Let's see. Here we go. Get to use Microsoft Edge here. All right, so this is what I use. Come on. Yeah, so this is what I use for the calcium fertilizer. This is pretty good stuff. Oh, yeah, there it is. Calcium right there. Number one is calcium. Or not number one, but that first number is calcium. So that's one that I use, and then there's this one that I use. This is like in three stages. So you get like three bottles. Oh, nope. Come on. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So this is in like three bottles. This one right here, it's basically your basic fertilizer. It comes with it. What's in it is earthworm castings and bat guano, and it's in a liquid form. It's really good stuff. It really helps like the plant start growing. Once it starts getting leaves, then you want to start mixing this stuff with this one. And what this fertilizer does, the Big Grow, is it helps promote healthy leaf growth. Uh, but as soon as
That guano is supposed to be good.
it's really good stuff. Like this fertilizer right here is really good.
Full of
Uh,
potassium nitrate.
yep, got that potassium going on. Um, but yeah, like potassium is also really good for plants. I don't remember exactly how it helps it. I don't remember if it's leaf production. I think it's nitrogen is for leaf production, and potassium is just an overall supplement for it. I think potassium is mainly for the fruit of the plant. But anyways, there's this one. Actually, this one has a pretty good calcium on it too. Um, but for this one, this is right here to help leaf growth. But as soon as as you can see right here, as soon as it starts to flower, you want to take it off of this one and switch it over to the Tiger Bloom. The Tiger Bloom is what promotes bigger fruit growth. If you leave it on this one for too long, your plant will get very leafy and it won't produce anything. It'll just have a lot of leaves. So if you're ever wondering about what's going on with that, take it off any nitrogen fertilizer that you're giving it, um, and then either ease off of it or switch to something else that has less nitrogen in it, and that should start help promoting like flower growth and bloom and stuff like that. But let's see. Yeah, so like it was going really good, but like I said, that the white stuff right here was just excess from the bat guano fertilizer. And then again, more tomatoes. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, you can see all the serranos on this one. That right there is basically just the serrano splitting.
Oh, neat. Now, I get gardening XP before the zombie Arpo starts DDDD.
Yeah, gardening is super simple. This is my third year doing it. This right the pictures that I'm showing you right now are from the second year that I did it. I don't have anything from the first year, unfortunately. If I do, they're probably long gone. Um, but this one, but yeah, oh yeah, right here. So what's starting to happen here is that it's starting to split, and that doesn't really mean anything bad. It just means that it's ready to come off the branch or come off. Um, Actually, if you let them split, they get a little hotter.
Dot dot dot. I think you are the third internet person doing it.
Ah, cool. Um, but yeah, you want to pull them like you can kind of, well, I don't know. I can tell just by looking at it, but this one is a little soft. You don't want to pull it when when it's soft. You want to
This year is going to be a big one for me as far as gardening goes.
that's pretty cool.
Gardening stream is cool though.
Docfro, thank you for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay. Yeah, no, I've been wanting to do this for a while. Um, it's just, it's I started in the winter, so I didn't really get a chance to do it. But now that I'm getting started on it, we're in full swing now. Actually, when a Serrano starts to split, or any, actually no, I would only say this for Serrano. I wouldn't want to split bell pepper. But if a Serrano is starting to split, it also means that it's starting to get a little hotter. So if you want it hot, leave it on there for a little bit longer until you see that little split going on. And it looks like it doesn't look like a real split. It looks more like it's like it's callousing over like as a stripe or something like that. As gross as that sounds, but it's really good, and that's when it's at its hottest. But like this one's like really nice and firm. That's when you want it. That's when you want it picked. Cherry tomatoes right here. I'm surprised they got this big in this little pot. This I want to say like a few days later I split them off and
I
put
am
them.
curious why planting hot peppers.
Oh, why hot peppers? I like peppers. I like chilies. I use them in a lot of food and I make a lot of salsa. Um, if you're just tuning in, you probably missed the cilantro that I was showing a while ago. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here we go, cilantro. So you got the cilantro right there, tomatoes here, bell peppers here, more, and then you got the serranos here, and tomato, serrano, and cilantro, onions and garlic makes a really good hot
Oh,
sauce,
those
a
kind of
salsa.
herbs are classics.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold up. Yeah, and then here's the habanero. It's starting to flower. I don't think there's really any. Yeah, it's just starting to flower. But this serrano one grows quick. I would recommend a serrano pepper. Here we go. The beans. Yeah, cherry tomatoes right here. Here we go. So, oh, blossom end rot. That's what it's called. So that's what's
Don't
happening.
make me draw you surrounded by spicy red peppers.
I love peppers, dude. But like right here, it's kind of starting to get a little blossom end rot. Um, and like I said, that's just because it's lacking calcium. Yeah, it's lacking calcium right there. So that's why it's kind of starting to rot. As soon as I saw that, that's when I started putting in more calcium into it. I'll go into more about grooming and taking care of a tomato plant. Because there's quite a bit to know about it. Here we go. Here's the green beans that are starting to grow. I wish I took a better picture of it. But once they get about like maybe finger length, that's when you want to pick them. The more you pick, the more it's gonna put out. So if you pick them at like right here, it'll just immediately start production on more green beans. So pick them as you go. It's also why you want to plant a lot of green beans. Maybe at least 8. I did 4, and I never really had enough green beans to like cook with, but I kind of had enough to like snack on like every other day. Here we go. More tomatoes, more cherry tomatoes, or not more cherry tomatoes, but yeah, this is where I split them off and I built a trellis around them so that way they'd have something to grow on. Cherry tomatoes will grow wild, and I will have a picture of one later in the future as to how wild they can get. Yeah, so this is when I got more. I started picking these up because I really needed the space for them. That's just my brother's bamboo plant. Uh, what is that? Oh yeah, that's tomato back there. There we go. This one was a tomato plant that I took the branch off because it was going to be a good branch. And what you want to do is just if you cut off a tomato branch, just put it in some water and a root system will grow. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of that. This right here was my green bean or my peas, but again, I didn't have anything for them to like grow on, to crawl on. I didn't get these things until like later after this one had died. Otherwise, I would have used it for it, but it was already too late for this one. But I know now, and it's basically like a first harvest. Habaneros, serranos, red hot chilies right here, and then these are like some weird peppers that I don't remember getting. I swear I thought these were red hot chili peppers, but they ended up being like some weird crossbreed between like a serrano and a red hot, and it was really weird. Um, Peppers are very easily can be very easily crossbred. You won't get it in that generation, but the seeds that you harvest, so like if a red hot crossbreeds with a serrano, you
Crossbreeding. Cool.
yeah, um, if they end up crossbreeding and you pull the seed from one of them, it will well at least if it's if it's a flower. So if you get a red hot flower and then you pollinate a serrano flower, it'll still grow a serrano pepper. It's just the seed that will hold whatever this is. But these were pretty good. They weren't that hot. They weren't as hot as the serrano, but they were a little bit hotter than the red hots. That's a Those are some cherry tomatoes in the back, and they were delicious. I still have like plenty of them. It's basically the same picture. A few days later, I was letting the serrano, or not the serranos, I was letting some of the peppers dry out. Um, these stay good for quite a while, honestly. Let me see, what was that? 621, 613? Yeah, that's a good week. Yeah, I was letting these dry out so that way I could grind them up later. And then this was recently. This is the final harvest that I got from my cherry tomato. The cherry tomato plant was starting to die, so I just decided to pick all the tomatoes off of it and just let them uh let them ripen on their own. They don't taste as good, but they'll stay good until they ripen. And then again, this is the soil that I'm using. So this is the two soils mixed up into just a bin that I use because it's easier like this. If you leave it in a bin, then leaving them in bags. Um, this is what I was going to get into earlier, or later, but I talked about it earlier. Was like any like of these big chunks, like I said, they can really interfere with root growth. But considering how big this one is, it's something you don't have to worry about. You just want to worry about it more at the surface level, like right here, where the seeds will go. You kind of want to break up any like clumps of rock or just get rid of any of like this bigger debris, so that way the starting roots can have room to grow around, and they can really plant their roots, or the seed can really plant its roots. So this is kind of just, it cleaned up a little bit. You still got the big clumps, but these are easy to break down, and bigger sticks like this are easy to, toss out. Uh these are these are dill seeds. So you can kind of see like how small they are. That's easy, you just cover them up like that. You just push them down into the earth a little bit, or into the dirt a little bit, and then you just cover them up, and then you water them in. But let's see. So I got like 4 cherry tomatoes, and in each one of these cherry tomato pots, there's like 2 seeds. So there's 8 cherry tomatoes in total. I haven't gotten around to cleaning up the porch this year. It's been too cold to be out there right now. Those are 2 serrano plants in the back. I decided to buy some new ones just at the store. Tomato. Okay, so I guess I can get into tomato caring and stuff like that. You kind of want your tomato to grow straight up. You don't want it to branch out like that, because if it does, well, so there's actually 2 ways. But if you're just doing it from a pot, you just want one single stem. You don't want 2 branching ones, because there's not enough. You won't have enough space for the root system, and you won't have enough nutrients for both of them. So your tomatoes are going to grow kind of small if you let it branch out in a Y like this. I cut this one off, and I ended up putting it into a glass of water, and it's still alive. I'm just waiting for the root system to grow in now. But you usually cut this one off, and you just like let it grow to one branch or one stem. And there you go. That's the branch that I cut off. Eggshells. Um, Let me go back to another one of my last year's tomatoes real quick. Let me see. Where is it at? Here we go. No, that's a green bean. Here we go. So also with this, I wish I got a better picture. Actually, you know what? Maybe I do. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, I cut off like some of the lower branches, and that's just to avoid any disease from climbing up from the lower branches. Because if you don't really want your leaves to touch the ground. It just makes it easier for bugs to climb on, or for your seeds to get saturated in the water, in the soil, or in the damp soil, which can cause it to rot. So what you want to do is you just want to cut off enough branches from the bottom, so that way you can minimize that chance of disease from happening. Another thing you kind of want to do is just monitor monitor the branches and any offshoots. You can't really see it here, but there is like a they call it suckers. It's just another branch that grows in between two branches already. You want to take those off because then that's just gonna suck up a lot of nutrients. Your tomato's gonna put more effort into growing this little one out than it is into flowering. So you want to take those off and put more production into the flowers. Let's close that one out. Yeah, actually, you can see one right here, a little sucker right there. So you just want to pluck those out. And this is actually like the little hairs that I was telling you about. So you can bury a tomato plant as deep as you want, as long as these are in the ground, and these will become a root system. It's very cool. Eggshells that I was talking about for extra calcium. Like I said, it's a slower release, but it's it's a good way to get long term calcium into your plants. And then these are what I picked up to make my garden bed. So I'm not making my garden bed like this. Should be the next one. Yeah, here we go. So these are 10-foot planks, 2x6s, and let's see. Yeah, so that's a plotting one out there. That one's going to be a 5x5. These are a 6x4. So that's just cutting it, and then this is the 5x5. I may have to go up one more layer. I don't like how small this is. I want to say it's like maybe 7 inches uh wide, or maybe it's 6 inches. But yeah, you can kind of see how shallow it is. So I may want to go up an extra layer. Huh? Hold on, wait. Wasn't there more? Huh? That's weird. I thought I had more of the garden bed. Give me a second. Let me see. Posted these earlier in another server because I was showing off my garden beds. Uh, Here we go. Here we go. So this is the final product. This is a 6x4. So this is pretty good length. Let me get some water real quick. So this is a pretty good length. What I'm thinking about doing for this one is dividing it up. So basically cutting it in half right here, and having 12 tomatoes on this side. I haven't decided yet. It's probably not going to be cherry tomatoes because cherry tomatoes get wild. And actually, I don't think I showed that photo. Yeah, that photo wasn't in here. Very unfortunate. I'll have to look for it in a little bit. But I'm thinking about putting like 12 tomatoes here, and then I don't know what I'm going to put on this side just yet. I thought about doing peppers, but I think I'm just going to leave the peppers in containers. Simply because I don't want a lot of crossbreeding going on with my peppers. I want to be able to harvest the seeds from them and have a guaranteed either Serrano, Red Hot, or anything else like that in the later years. So you kind of got to keep your peppers separated unless you want like crossbreeding going on. Again, this is a 5x5. This is what I was talking about earlier. You got all that debris in there. Really hurts the starter. Like these are little seed pods. These are really good for just like if you don't really have the space at the moment, you can just start them out in these little seed starter packs, and they take up a lot less space. And that is a cucumber seed, and so you just just put a little hole and you just bury it up. And yeah, I think that's all the photos I got. Yeah. Um, but as you can see, I was like last year I did a lot of container stuff. There were a lot of containers. This year I'm actually going to be using garden beds. Um, I think the garden bed will really help out.
Hell yeah, that was neat to see.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like the progress that's been going on. I didn't get to do a lot that I wanted this week because the last 2 days have been really bad for weather. Um, what I was supposed to do was go back and or not go back, go back to the hardware store and pick up some what is it, hardware cloth, which is basically just chicken wire. And what you want to do is you want to lay the chicken wire on the ground right here and then cover it up with cardboard. What the chicken wire is going to do is it's going to prevent any rodents or, unwanted creatures from digging up from underneath and attacking your fruits or your vegetables from, underneath. You don't want that. You know what? Oh wait, you know what? I've been using the wrong avatar this whole time. Give me a second. There we go. This is what I wanted to use. So Neapolitan made this for me, and I really like this avatar. It's a little Slimedala, little chocolate slime. But I did some other stuff for it to it.
H-A-H-A-H-A.
He has little blinking animations now, and the mouth opens. Without the mouth opening, that's just the default one that Tan drew for me. And then at first I was just gonna have it a reactive PNG. It was just gonna light up and darken and stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? Like, I can do more, and I decided to do
He
all this.
vibrates so aggressively, haha. I love it.
I know, I love it too. That's why um, one of my buddies told me about another program. It's the program that Woozle uses for his PNG, and I really like it. I really like Woozle's little vibrating animation that happens when he's talking. But yeah, thank you Neapolitan for the little slime dilla. I love it. It's amazing. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna look for that cherry tomato real quick. Let me see. Where is it at? Okay, it's not in there. Should be here. Yeah, I think it might be here. So let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this is the cherry tomato basically growing wild. And here's the front end of it. This side right here
I'm
started to
happy
die.
you're using it like this. Creative plus good shit, haha.
Thank you. But yeah, I really like this thing. Thank you again. Um, but yeah, this was taken in November. So like the cherry tomatoes aren't usually supposed to last like an entire year. This plant lasted like all the way up until January when I decided to cut off all the branches and get the tomatoes off of it. So the fact that this thing was still growing like in November was insane. Um, and this was my last plant too. As you can see, all the pots back there are empty and stuff like that. Um, but actually, this does bring up something I want to talk about that I mentioned earlier about not letting it go into a Y like this because you just want it to grow off of one branch. Let me see if I can find this YouTube video again. Uh, so I don't want to say like when I was learning how to farm or not farm but garden. I discovered this other VTuber called Farmer Hina, and I kind of followed her a little bit. She doesn't put out a lot of videos, but she does put out a lot of helpful information regarding tomatoes. Let's see, Farmer Hina. Yeah, here we go. So this is a VTuber farmer. Like she legit has her own farm. It's really cool. Hold up. Here we go. So this is her channel. Oh, I'll play a little bit of another video. It's actually this one. Um, Here we go. Ads. I forgot. This is what happens when you browse the internet without ad blocker. There we go. So I'm not going to show the entire video. I'm just going to give the gist of it. So because she has a farm, so she has like a greenhouse and everything to grow plants this big. But what she started doing is something called the double cordon, as you can see right there. What it is you let the plant grow into a Y shape, and then you snip off the growing part of this one right here. So you basically just cut the tip off, and this side will stop growing, but this side will continue to grow. And let me see if I can find it, or at least these are just other methods that they use to grow tomatoes. I want to say it is, yeah, here it is. So this is your standard normal cordon, which you just let it grow into a Y, or an M, and you get like you get two. What is it? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight stages of harvesting, plus these on the side. But with her double cordon experiment, this is still the normal one. Yeah, so she says you get about like 20 harvests here. With this one, instead of growing it like that, you cut off the production on one end, and here it is. You cut off production on one end, and you double the production on the other end. So it's pretty interesting. It's actually kind of what I did with this one unknowingly. Um, because like I said, it grew into a Y, but half of it ended up dying after I harvested everything on one side, and everything on like this side of the plant started growing like crazy. So it makes sense what she was trying, and I ended up doing something very similar last year. Just I didn't know it. I just did it because I was like, well, I need space, so I started like weaving it up and down, and just a lot of whatever. But her method really seemed to work. In terms of my cherry tomato, at least I didn't try it with any other tomatoes. I forgot what she said she uses. It's a Japanese variety of tomato. Now let me see. But yeah, if you're ever interested in tomato growth and stuff like that. Oh yeah, she also talks about tomato splitting here too, or vegetation splitting. Um, it's pretty common. It's gonna happen regardless. If it does, just take the tomato off, and you could probably either eat it. I don't really eat split tomatoes or split vegetation, but you can still harvest the seeds from them and stuff like that. But yeah. Let me see. Do I have another one? I'm pretty sure I have another tomato. Yeah, there we go. Or it's still the same one, but it's just slightly at a different angle. But yeah, I wish I got the final progress, but like I said, what I showed you with like that bowl of tomatoes is the let me see. Do I have anything else? Oh, wait, here's my lemon tree. I don't know why I didn't show that one. So this one ended up dying over the like it didn't die, but it nearly died during the freeze that we had here in Texas like last year. But luckily we mulched it up enough that the bottom branch or the bottom uh trunk of the tree managed to survive and started putting out like all these leaves. These are just baby leaves. So when the baby leaves come in, they look a little yellow, but it's nothing to worry about. Eventually they'll harden off and they'll become a green like this. Let me see. I have like so many like windows open right now. Yeah. Oh wait, actually I didn't get to this last one. So these are the tomatoes now. As you can see, they're starting to green or no, they're starting to turn red now. They taste really good. I've eaten some of the ones that I've already ripened up, and they are really good. I really like tomatoes. It's why I'm growing so many. Wait, did I not? Yeah, I'm still missing some photos. What in the world? Hold on, give me a second. Did I just not save them? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't. What in the world? Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I don't know why. give me a second, guys. So I forgot to get into what I'm growing now. Oh wait, it says they're in here, but where are they? Oh, you know what? Maybe yeah, I just didn't get to them. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got to this slide and I didn't go on any further. So these right here are cherry tomato rainbows. They'll grow in different colors and stuff like that, and these looked really interesting. I really want to give these a shot and see how these turn out. Um, Let me see. And this is what the seeds look like. They're different colored seeds, and I was like, "What is this? Like, this looks insane." So I'm really curious to how these will turn out. I hope they come out really good. Just having like a different blend of rainbow cherry tomato seems like it'd be really cool. So this is all that I planted today. This is before I watered them. So again, I'm growing the Keystone peppers, Rutgers tomatoes, beefsteak tomato, rainbow blend cherry tomatoes, Chicago pickling cucumbers. So you can use whatever cucumber you want, but they do make certain kinds of cucumbers that are made for pickling. The Chicago pickling one, or the Chicago pickling cucumber, is one of those. Um, and if you've never smelt the root of a cucumber plant, they smell delicious. It smells like a cucumber. It smells like the freshest cucumber you'll ever have. Um, but yeah, and then these are jalapenos. I pulled the seeds from a store bought jalapeno, and I'm just doing this out of an experiment to see if I can grow a jalapeno from a store. Habaneros and red habaneros, Roma tomatoes, white spine cucumbers. These white spine cucumbers are kind of ones that or cucumbers that you'll usually see at a deli. And Market 76 cucumbers. These are your standard store cucumbers. And then again the tomatoes. But yeah, that's basically been it. I hope you enjoyed this presentation that I've had. Um, I'm gonna try to do more of these. Not like as not like a weekly thing, but as I make more progress through the growing season. Um, Currently, the next step is getting these filled. Well, getting this one filled and then getting the other one built. I didn't buy the wood for it, but you can see the others in the back. The other blocks that I need, or that I'm going to be using in the back right there. That one is also going to be a 6x4. And then, like I said, with this 5x5.
Yeah, it was a nice stream. I hope the rainbow tomatoes come out cool.
I hope they do too. Like those are the ones that I'm really looking forward to. This one I haven't decided yet. I do have sunflower seeds that I want to grow. So I'm thinking this will just be like a rainbow, not a rainbow, a sunflower seed patch or sunflower patch. I and then oh yeah, there's also the orange tomato, the orange tree that I have that I need to put in the ground soon. But again, I'm probably not going to work on those for a while, at least for another month. Where they are now, they're fine. I'm just gonna let them sit in the yard and let them get weathered and hardened and stuff like that. So they'll be fine. Just need another water. Um, but yeah, hopefully the next time that I do another gardening stream, it'll be when these are filled in and the other one is built, and that one I can go into a little bit more about how I'm gonna fill in the how I'm gonna fill them in, because it, like, if you look at it, it looks like it's gonna need a lot of dirt.
Interesting topic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I learned a lot in, what was it, 2020, when the whole pandemic stuff started. I was just like, well, I'm stuck at home right now. Pretty much all the jobs like stopped. uh you know like there wasn't a much demand for jobs at that time, so I was like, well, I guess I better make use of my time. So I started growing. I just started gardening and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. um what is that? That's just leaf or whatever. But yeah, like I said, so the next phase for this one would be getting the chicken wire laid out, so that way it could prevent rodents or anything else from climbing up, and setting cardboard. And the reason why you put cardboard is because even though you want to stop rodents from getting into it, but you want earthworms to get into your garden. Earthworms are really good for breaking up soil and just bigger chunks in general, as well as them leaving behind earthworm poop. Earthworm poop is also very fertile and works as a really good fertilizer for your soil. Um, you do want to look out for I don't have any pictures of them, but they're like aphids or something like that. They're like these little orange spider-looking things. They're not spiders, but they love tomatoes and they will just like feast on your tomatoes and peppers and they suck to get rid of. Like once you have them, it's really hard to get rid of them. They were a huge problem last year, and a reason why my growing didn't work out too well last year. I still got stuff out of
Aphids are
it.
the bane of every gardener.
Yes, they are. I hate them so much. Um, but what I plan on doing with this one, with this garden bed, is getting rid of a lot of the grass around here and turning it into kind of like a rock bed or a rock garden or whatever you want to call it. And so that way I don't have to worry about using harsher chemicals around it. Just because I don't want really anything that bugs can hide under. One thing that you can do to combat aphids or other uh, predatory insects or just pests in general is introduce ladybugs into your garden. And ladybugs are
Lacewings.
lacewings. I'm not familiar with those. No, ladybugs are predatory insects that will eat other bugs. So they're really cool to have around. I even let spiders hang out in my garden because they go for anything. Um, but yeah, um, it's just about picking and choosing what you want in there. Obviously, you don't want hornets near your stuff or wasps. Those are very predatory and highly aggressive towards bumblebees. So I do we try to do what we can to keep hornets away and keep bees around and stuff like that. But as you know, bees are kind of they say that bees are going extinct. So I'm hoping the sunflower garden will bring in more bees towards us, at least to help pollinate my lemon tree and my orange tree. Again, this is the 5x5 one. I'm gonna have to put a second layer in. I may end up just making another 5x5 and using that as a pumpkin patch, either pumpkin or watermelon. I haven't fully decided yet. Um, but yeah, let me see. How long have I been doing this now? Oh, hey, calm down, you two. Let's see. Oh man, this is like an hour lecture. Jeez, that was pretty fun though. This has been pretty fun. But yeah, I want to say that's mostly my TED talk for this lecture. um, like I said, other things that I got to do. Like I said, getting this one down, and then hopefully in the next stream, or not next stream, but the next time that I decide to do another gardening stream, I'll have these beds filled in, and then I can show you how I filled them in. Uh, I do have an idea how I'm going to do it. It's just going to be what's it called? It's probably just going to be a lot of work to get it filled in because it's you look at it and it's like, oh man, that's going to be a lot of soil, and it will be, but there's tricks that you can do to fill it in pretty good. Let me see. I think I'm just going to keep it to this.
Have you been keeping up with SHOT Show?
With Shot Show? I don't think so. I don't know what Shot Show is. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not familiar with what Shot Show is. Hey, Respite. Big ups for the follow. It means a lot. Hope your day's been going good. Actually, speaking of followers, I never gave a shout out to Vestox who followed earlier. Let me see.
Damn, there's some cool new products hitting the market this year.
Huh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to look into it later. Let's see. But yeah, we're gonna look for someone to raid right now. Like I said, I was gonna just keep this one short. I didn't really want to go into gaming today. It was
It's a yearly gun convention.
oh, a gun convention. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, that sounds
Shot
cool.
show.
Shot show. No, yeah, I don't know. I am a gun collector. I do have my fair share of guns. Um, I was gonna say maybe too many, but you can honestly never have too many.
Fine, and you?
Ah, doing pretty good. I hope you're enjoying your time here. I hope you learned a bit about gardening. Um, let me see. Let me see who we can raid. But yeah, like I said, I was debating about whether or not I was going to extend this into like a gaming thing, but I don't know. I just want to keep this as its own little garden show. Uh, Hopefully the next one will be a little bit more longer. It'll definitely have a little bit more information, especially since I'll be going into soil. I know it seems like I covered a lot with soil and fertilizer, but there's still so much more. Like it's a science. It really is a science to keeping your soil and your I don't want to say pH. pH levels does have some there is some to do with it, but not as much as you would think. Let's see. Uh, Wait, why is this double? Okay, there it goes. You know what? We're gonna go to Ladybug Berries. Simply because I was already talking about ladybugs. So we'll go check on Ladybug Berries. She's doing a karaoke stream right now. I managed to catch a few minutes of it before I started my stream, and it looked like a lot of fun. I don't really have a raid message, unfortunately. Wait, is she still streaming? Oh, she is. Let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, she's still streaming. Okay. I'm trying to think of something garden related, but I can't really think of one. I'm not a clever person. Um, Let me think. Huh.
Ladybugs will eat other bugs.
Yeah, ladybugs will eat other bugs. I like that one. Thank you, Neapolitan. So ladybugs will eat other bugs, or no, ladybugs will save Gondola's garden, or something like that. Let me see.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Ladybugs will save Gondola's garden this year.
There we go. I actually do plan on getting a bunch of ladybugs into my garden this year. They say that there's that you can either buy them at the store. Oh, apparently ladybugs can also be refrigerated and they go into like a hibernation stage. I didn't know that. But I think the same is true for like bees and like mosquitoes and stuff like that. Like if it gets too cold, they'll just like go into hibernation. Um, don't don't put your bees in refrigerators though. Let them be free. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this raid started. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this because I definitely had a lot of fun. I look forward to the next gardening stream that I do. And with that, I'll catch you guys next time. Rip.